Hi everybody! I hope that some of you have decided to join me tonight for Make It With Me Monday, my very first edition. I had posted some cutting dimensions for you, and hopefully you found those and you have your stamps and your your stamps and your ink and all your accessories, and everything is all ready to go. I am going to flip the camera back, ignore the messy table across from me as it goes, and I'm going to flip down and I'm just going to show you the suite that I am using on my particular card tonight. All right, so let's flip, and down you go. All right, whoop, there we go. Okay, I am going to go back to one that we haven't seen in quite a while here, and that is the Ornate Garden. And that one has been, there we go. Okay, whoop, I need to mute that. Okay, there we go. Ornate Garden. This was actually an early release last year, and we're going to do something similar again this year, so that's why I decided to bring this one back, just to talk about how that works. So the Ornate Garden is one of what we call our mega suites. There's two different bundles in here. There's a beautiful set of DSP and a couple accessories. So I'm going to quickly whip through that for you. The DSP is really cool because there's lots of different color variations. You've got mint and terracotta and bumblebee, and then on the other sides are these really cool metallics. These two are the only ones that don't have the metallic in them, but these, as you can see, they have a little gold shimmer in there, which is really cool. This is about all I have left out of my DSP pack for this one. I have loved using this one so much, I've almost used it all up. So for reference, if you guys want to look back at that, that is going to start on page 66 of the annual catalog. And like I said, it has two different bundles. So here is Ornate Style stamp set, and it coordinates with the Ornate Layers dies. These by themselves are really cool to own. They make incredible layered, as they say, ornate layers, with these beautiful decorative borders. This particular one actually won't cut out a shape at all. It just shows you that little pattern you can put into your paper. And there's a couple more here on the back. Same thing with that top pattern. You'll just put that into your paper. And then, like I said, you've got these great little layers that have little edgings or stitchings in them or something like that. And I'll show you some samples at the very end that go along with this stamp set. So then here is Ornate Thanks and Ornate Borders. Ornate Thanks is a thank you literally for almost any occasion you could possibly think of. Okay. Hi Kathy, nice to see you here. Alrighty, then Ornate Borders, some of these coordinate together. So like for example, this one you can cut out completely, or you can just use it as a border itself. You get some pieces that fall out of some of these other pieces that would make really great attachments. This one comes with 3 extra flowers. So if you do this one out of one color, you can take flowers in addition from different colors and then put them on top of there. All right, so those are the ones I'm gonna be working with tonight. And I'm gonna show you the accessories that come with this particular grouping. You have a ribbon bundle that has both terracotta and olive, about a 1/4 inch satin ribbon. I'm actually gonna use the olive on my project tonight. There's gilded gems. I think I've included these in one of my classes recently. So they're kind of like, they look like sequins, but they've got a little sticky on the back. So those are gonna be something I use as well. And then this really cool embossing folder, it's one of our 3D folders. It's called Ornate Floral. I have some samples with that on it so you can see the detailing in there, but little teeny tiny flowers, so super cute. Hi Aunt Mary, good to see you. All right, so I'm gonna get started, I think, with assembling. So I'm gonna show you first. Here is the layout I'm following. I took this from fellow demonstrator Julie Davison. And these kind of challenges are really great because they're simple layouts and you guys can easily recreate these anytime you want. So you should have a 4 1/4 by 11 card base. Mine is Old Olive. You're gonna have a 2 by 4 3/4 piece of designer series paper. And in case you're new to Stampin' Up! At all, designer series paper just is a fancy way of saying double-sided printed papers. So take any kind of printed paper you have in that dimension, 2 by 4 3/4. Then you were supposed to grab a coordinating cardstock color. Mine is Rococo Rose, and it's 1 1/4 by 4 1/4. And then she has a 2.5 inch circle on here. I also said you could grab basically any shape you want that's about that same size. It's just going to take up that space right there. All right, so let's get assembling. Okay, so you are gonna take your, I already had mine folded, but you're gonna take your 4 1/4 by 11 inch piece. It's already hopefully scored at 5 1/2 inches. So fold that and give that a really nice crease. Now, the one thing I didn't actually write on there, but that I hope you just thought was understood, is that you need some adhesive to put that together. All right, so grab your 2 by 4 3/4 piece of designer series paper. Put your adhesive on the back. And then be ready to, I'm going to show you 2 options. So you can lay that down first and then put the DSP across, or I'm sorry, the cardstock across, or you can do the cardstock first and layer the DSP on top. I'm going to opt for that option on this particular card. So I'm actually going to put my adhesive on my 1 1/4 by 4 1/4 strip. And you're going to aim for kind of the bottom third. It should fit all the way across, but remember, cutting isn't always perfect. So if you have a little hanging over, just snip it off with your scissor. Okay, so that's your 1 1/4 by 4 1/4 piece. Then you're going to take your strip of DSP and layer that on top. All right, and then you can set that aside. And then whatever shape you used, pick up whatever stamp set you are going to use and your ink pad. I am going to be using my Ornate Thanks, and I just mounted the word thanks, so I'm just going to be using this particular stamp here. And once I'm actually ready to send it, I'm going to add one of these phrases to the inside. So I'm waiting for some reason to thank somebody soon. All right, my color is Old Olive. You just grab whatever ink pad you had. Whoops, probably will help if I stamp it the correct direction. Now, because I'm going to add some doodads to the top of mine, I'm going to aim my word thanks to be down toward the bottom. But within, I used a stitched circle shape. I'm going to bring that up just a little bit, see if you can see the stitching. Might be a little hard with the reflection. But I made sure it didn't go outside the stitching, just put it as low as I could. You guys add in yours, whatever that looks like. Okay, then if you grabbed embellishments like ribbons or bling or something like that, I'm going to create a bow for the top of mine. I'm going to show you 2 different ways in case you're not used to doing bows just all on your own. Think of it like you're going to be tying your shoe. So my favorite version is the wrap around and through. And then I hold the end of it here between my fingers and start pulling tight. Whoops, it needs to come out. There we go. Because then I don't have a huge tail on this end. And then I can adjust it by pulling and stretching however I need it to. Okay, so that's one option. The other way that some people learn how to tie their shoes is with the bunny ears thing. So you're going to take 2 loops and wrap those around each other and pull it through. Whoops, hold on. I dropped it. There we go. All right, loopy, loopy, loop. Grab the other one and pull through. And then again, you're going to adjust the length based on what you would like. Okay, so there's the other version. I'm going to go back to my first one because I like the way, for me, that's just the way it works. I know, Mary, that's why, you know, this is one thing I miss about you guys all coming to stamp with me, is because inevitably I always just made all your bows for you because inevitably if someone would be like, my bow's not working, my bow's not working. So if anybody ever needs help with that, that's what I am here for. Alrighty, then I'm going to trim off what I don't need there. All right, and I am going to use my glue dots to put that on. I like to take my accessory directly to my glue dot and just pop it off. So that's going to go up there, and that just fills in my white space on top there for me. I'm going to add just a few of my little gilded gems. So if you had any little blingy things or anything that you were going to be putting on yours, I'm just going to use my scissors here. You could also use your take your pick tool. All right, so I'm going to put a couple on here. Then you can either put that down flat on your card, and if you want to, you can also use some dimensionals and pop it up. I always like a little dimension, so I'm going to do that. Take off the backings. All right, and if you guys have ever watched me demonstrate before, I tend to talk a mile a minute, and I go, which sometimes leads me to go really fast. So if there's something you are missing, pop a comment on there. I'm scrolling through and watching, and you can tell me, hey, go back to that, or slow down, or something like that. All right, then I'm also going to add, I like to work in the visual triangle of 3s. So I have 2 of my little gems on here already. I'm going to add 1 little gem just up here to finish off my little visual triangle. Okay? All right, so those are the gilded gems, again, part of that Ornate Suite collection. All right, I'm going to push this to the side while you guys are finishing up yours. I am going to show you a couple other samples that I made using the exact same layout. Here's one I did with the Always in Your Heart Valentine collection that's in the January through June mini catalog. So same concept, except you can see here I put the white strip above my DSP because I wanted to highlight my little rhinestones for that to be on the white. I thought they would pop off best off the white cardstock. Then the other thing I want to show you with this too is you can always think about taking this up a notch. So the next one, I'm going to just slide my sample of that one over a little bit. So you'll see the difference here. I used the same strip of DSP measurement, but then I added a tiny layer behind it of white, and that, you know, popped it off the red a little bit differently. I still chose to do the white above, but I embossed the paper with the subtle embossing folder. I don't know if that's going to show up because I know that one's really hard to see. But that just gave it a little extra texture and dimension. And again, I decided to add just a little bit more visual pop with a little bit of ribbon behind it. So take the concept of what that layout looks like, and like if you could add layers to this strip, you could add, again, texture. You could stamp on the background itself to give it a tone-on-tone look. Like if I had little tiny hearts, I might consider stamping those in red or in Versamark all over my base layer, just to make that a little more interesting. But the basic card itself is one I like for just, it's really quick, it's really simple, and yet it's pretty. And that's one of the things is like when simple is also pretty, I just loved it. Thanks, Ruth, I agree. All right, the other one I'm gonna show you is with one of our new collections. It's going to be available starting tomorrow. This is also working exactly like Ornate Suite did last year, where they're going to introduce it ahead of the annual catalog with some special extra parts. So this is the Brilliant Butterfly, or Butterfly Brilliance, there we go. Butterfly Brilliance stamp set, which really is one gigantic stamp. Oh my gosh, look at that. Isn't that amazing? So with one fell swoop, you can stamp out all the butterflies if you want. Obviously, you can use individual parts as well, but if you just want one big chunk, you're done. And then what else is really, really cool, there is a die that you can take and die cut all of them at once. One pass through your cut and emboss machine, and you've got, let's see, 2, 4, 6 butterflies all done. Isn't that awesome? Then there are also more detailed butterfly dies that you can cut out of cardstock. That will, I don't know that they actually, they do. Let's see if they actually coordinate. Yes, they do a little bit. So you can have, you could die cut this out of a solid and then die cut that out of a different solid or the same shade, and you're gonna have that extra layer without the little details through it. There's some extra pieces that just add, this is like a little hashtag pattern. You've got bricks, a little tiny butterflies, little dots, and then another little detailed butterfly. So this bundle, Butterfly Brilliance and the Butterfly Brilliance dies, let me put this guy, or Brilliant Wings is actually what they call the die set. I'll put these guys back on there so you can see. So that's what you get all together in a bundle. This particular portion of that is going to carry over into the annual catalog, so you'll be able to order them all the way through next year. Now, the catch for some of this that they're going to do on a short release is this amazing designer series paper, 6x6. You get, I believe it's 8 sheets of each one of these in your pack, so oh my gosh, it's going to last you a really long way. So there's that. One side has butterflies, and one side has some really pretty texture and color on it. And there's the color texture for that one. And that's like purple and, forget the color, teal maybe, some kind of teal. I love this little rainbow pattern, ombre rainbow going from side to side. That's a really funky yellow into peachy colors, kind of like sunset. This one's really neat because you've got like a little thing of clouds back there. And then there's that coral, just little dotted pattern. Bring that up a little closer. There you go. Here's little tiny butterflies that look very much like the first sheet, so super cute. And then you've got pinks and oranges on the back of that one. And this is the one I used on my sample. So it goes from pinks into mint macaron. And then there's this pretty mint macaron pattern, which again is really hard to see in my bright lights. One thing I wanted to point out here as well, on the DSP that they made, that also lines up perfectly with the gigantic die. So again, if you don't even want to bother with stamping and coloring or anything like that, you can send the DSP through and you will get your 6 butterflies all cut out at once. And I took one of those and I added it on my card. I just think that is just the coolest. It makes for really quick and easy stamping. But these designer series papers are only available March and April. I know, Carol, I love the butterfly too. They're only going to be available March and April while supplies last. So what we're going to have to pay attention to is how fast these things are selling out. I'm going to do a class in March based on the DSP where you're going to get a sampling of it. Hi, Sue. You're going to get a sampling of that, and you can choose then, of course, to purchase the bundle if you want to have the stamps and dies right away. But the card class that we're going to do is going to be based on the paper and some simple die cutting by me because, again, I can't sell you guys stamped images, so we're going to do some tricky stuff with that. And then another piece, or another part they put in there is this Natural Touch specialty paper. I'm going to take it, I forgot to take it out of my plastic first, so pardon their really loud noise. It's basic, it looks like a wood grain, but it's super thin. And the back side is kind of just a little textured. It's still that honey color, which is kind of cool. But like it's very thin and it's got this really neat sheen to it. So it really looks just kind of like a piece of wood. Super, super cool. That again also is going to be available March and April while supplies last. So that will be coming soon for you guys to see. Well, like I said, we're going to do a class based on DSP and some really simple cards. Alrighty, so hopefully everybody got to catch up and had your card made. What I'd like you guys to do is take a photo of it and then upload it and put it in the comments from this thread, and we can all see everybody's creations because I'm dying to see what stamps did you use, what colors did you use, all that really fun stuff. And we can just spread the love to everybody about how awesome our cards are. All right, I'm gonna go through really quick and show you some more samples from that ornate collection. So this one has the embossing folder in the background, those detailed frames, and this is just a piece of DSP, so that just makes the card that's like all the work you need on that card. And there's that terracotta tile ribbon. This one will show you the ornate borders. So this one was done out of gold foil, and that part there is also gold foil, so that looks really pretty. This is one I did with some scraps, where I just used really thin pieces of the DSP, laid them all kinds of different directions, and made a background out of it. And then there's another ornate frame and that terracotta ribbon. This one is the sunburst technique. I believe we had this in a class last month with the Valentine themed one. So this was using one of the backgrounds with just the white and gold and then gold foil. All right, this one is a really fun double Z fold. So as you can see, as you undo it, it looks like 2 Z's. So there's that really fun fold card. There we go. This one again uses the ornate borders and the embossing folder. This is another fun fold. This might be one that we do again on a Make It Monday because I think it's just a little bit different, little interesting, but again, it can be super simple, especially when we use a DSP to do almost all of the work. Right, there's another one with using the DSP. This one, they incorporated the daisy punch because some of the daisy, or the papers have the daisy pattern, which I think is really, really cute. This one again incorporates the daisy punch. And this one is super simple and cute, a little bit of that mint ribbon going across there. And lastly, again, one more with the daisy punch, which I think it just adds a really great additional element to that because when you're looking at some of those other flowers, you don't necessarily see the daisies all together. All right, so I'm gonna lay out all my cards here one final time so you can see them if you need them. Well, let's see. Oh, 20 minutes. We didn't do too badly there for the first one. All right, so I am hoping that you guys really, really enjoyed this. Thanks, Ruth. And I hope that you guys will keep joining me on Monday nights. This is a big step out of my comfort zone for me. I don't often do, they've never done live. This is actually my very first one. So hopefully, again, I didn't talk a mile a minute and you followed along without issues. And then, like I said, please take a picture of your, yeah, thank you, Kathy. I'm glad you could be here. take a picture of your project and upload it in the comments on this particular video thread. That'll be going up there in just a few minutes once I clear it and post it, so that we can just see what everybody made. And remember, you can always do this, what we like to call live or later. So if you can't do it live with me, watch it again later, and then when you have the ideas, go ahead and do them. Oh, thanks, Ruth. I'm so glad you think so. All right, I'm gonna remember swoosh again, ignore my messy desk. And okay, there I am. All right, so thank you everybody for joining me tonight, and I hope I will see you again next Monday. Bye.